The scooter stopped being a toy exclusively for children a long time ago. Today it can be anything. No, seriously, whatever. There are ones for kids and for getting around town, electric ones, and most interestingly, sporting ones, stunt ones. You look at people who accept something incredible from you, and when you do it, everyone in the whole square just yells, "Yes, yes," and you get a huge dose of adrenaline, a huge buzz from this. For those who are tired of the usual ride on a scooter, we suggest you get comfortable close to the screen and listen to Ukrainian pro riders. Hi there, guys. Hi.
Hello.
What are your names? What will you tell us today? Nazar, Slavik, Oleg. We ride stunt scooters, so we'll show you some stunts today. Come on. Stunt scootering is a sport that young people are into a lot these days. And this is a fairly progressive sport, as it develops almost all the muscle groups. It's also fascinating and looks beautiful. Scootering is more popular in Europe and America, because there are more skate parks and all conditions are made for this. Stunt scooters have been around in Ukraine for about 10 years. It seems to me that lots of people ride a scooter in Ukraine, because it's quite inexpensive, cheaper than a BMX, but more beautiful, but more expensive than a skate. I've been riding a stunt scooter for a year and a half now, and before that I was into swimming and playing basketball. When I was a child, I saw a video on Instagram where the world scooter champion does some really nice tricks. I liked it very much, and I asked my mother to get me a scooter as a New Year present. What I really like about this sport, it is quite light and beautiful, and you can impress a lot of people with these tricks. I saw in the yard how guys rode. I was curious. I then took such a simple, not even a stunt scooter. I just tried something. Then on my birthday, they bought me my first stunt scooter, and that's how it all began. I'm fascinated by the drive, that you perform tricks and you get a direct feeling. Simply wow. I got interested in having a scooter 5 years ago. Before that, I rode skates, a skateboard, a BMX, but for some reason, the scooter inspired me more. My friends also had some sway. Everyone went and I wanted to be in their company. It so happened that I was the last one from the company, because I liked the sport the most. All those slides, balance, that dragged us in most of all, and it was such a new movement, and somehow I wanted to develop a new movement rather than be in the old movement. There are two types of scootering: street, when a skate park is not used, railings, edges, flat and park, where there are quarters, tackles, spines, foam pits, fly boxes, mini ramps.
Спайны, поролоновые ямы, флайбоксы, мини-рампы.
I ride street, because it's kind of more atmospheric, as it were. When you jump from all sorts of steps, when you make glides along all kinds of rails, it's more interesting for me. I tried the park, I rode for a year in the park, then I realized that it's not for me and moved to riding street. For the most part, I'm somewhere between street and plaza, and ride on the street, but also include aspects of plaza. That is, all these balances, slipping, the technical points. When you fly over something with some kind of grab, that is, you hold on to the board and fly somewhere, that also brings great pleasure. There are various scooters. It would be better for a beginner to take some kind of complete, but more or less good riders need to have some kind of custom. They can be light ones in the park, but better and heavier in the street. There are quite a few scootering schools in Ukraine. You can go there and ask for classes. A coach can take you and teach you something.
В Киеве есть много школ, но, как по мне, самая лучшая из них находится на территории НСК «Олимпийский», где тренируют много молодых людей.
Сначала занятия проводятся
First, there is a warm-up. Then they find out the child's level. And after that, certain tricks are set.
какие-то конкретные трюки.
It seems to me that it's better to ride with someone who already knows how to ride, as he can help in performing the trick, to iron out any flaws. First of all, I rode in my yard, because I couldn't go anywhere. I was young. I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. Well, I was able to learn tricks there. I started scootering in winter and really liked it. I learned a couple of very easy tricks, watched other people ride, asked for help, and they started to help me. I actually ride quite well now. My friends, with whom we rode together, we were on the same level and tried to learn tricks together. We rode together, watched a video of how everything is done. We had no coaches. My tricks came along quite quickly, and it turned out somehow that I got to be ahead of my friends, with whom I began scootering. On my very first one, I tried to jump, to move down from some edge. Later on, I started trying more complicated stuff, like some of the first tricks. I studied alone. I rode and began when few people did it back then in Kiev, and I studied purely intuitively. I saw something, approximately, and intuitively understood how this is done, and off I went. I saw something from someone, from the first guys who started riding. I saw something in video clips. Well, that's roughly how I learned. It took me a long time to learn my first tricks. I studied the most banal base for an entire month. Then guys began to turn up. I started to see and understand which tricks to learn next. Someone gave me tips and things got better, more convenient and faster. My friends and I had to watch all these videos and try to do something ourselves. We realized later on that we weren't doing the trick correctly. Then we learned how to redo it, and that a lot more time. And now all the beginners have a coach, more experienced people who can tell them everything. So our scootering experience is more valuable because we understand the whole thing and can quickly teach beginners. There were many difficulties, such as fear of jumping up onto something. To hit the front wheel when jumping, maybe on the same edge, or jump from a certain height, or when you fall from a scooter, scared about breaking your knees. But it could not have been without this.
Было много трудностей.
There were a lot of difficulties. It was scary to jump from some great heights. It was scary, the thought of falling and injuring yourself. It was scary to land the trick, as I was afraid that I would slip, fall, and get hurt. It was painful, it was quite often painful.
Было больно.
The most difficult thing about scootering is hard to say. Someone can calmly do a few tricks at a time, but can't do what other people can learn in a day. It all depends on the person. For me personally, because of the heavy scooter, it's just hard for me to do several tricks at the same time, as people do in parks. When 1, 2, 3, 4 flip the scooter, I find it difficult to do. I don't like it. It's not interesting.
Переворачивать самокаты, мне это сложно делать, мне это не нравится, мне это сложно, мне это неинтересно.
There are a lot of places in Ukraine where you can ride, do training. I think every city has a skate park.
В каждом городе, думаю, есть скейт-парк.
My favorite place for scootering is the skate park on the left bank, because the figures built there have been competently built and it's a very atmospheric place. I like to ride on Kyiv's Pochtova Square. There are steps, edges, railings. I also like to ride at the Olympic Stadium in the park. It is small but very convenient for learning tricks there. But I prefer to ride with friends, as you have some kind of incentive to show someone something.
Показать кому-то что-то.
Quite a lot of competitions are held in Ukraine, such as street jams and contests. Most contests are held in a park, and a street jam is, of course, held in the street. I have taken part in all competitions except for the last. I like to take part in competitions, because you can show your level and win some prizes. Over the course of 3 years, I took part in almost all competitions, contests, street jams. I won first place once, and later came second and third. Taking part in competitions is cool, in that you can look at other dudes from different cities, perhaps even from other countries, who can do something better than you. You can show what you can do.
Ты можешь показать, что ты умеешь.
The very first one was about 3 years ago. It was the very first street jam in Kiev. I really love to take part in competitions, because I don't care about prizes. The thing about a street jam is that you look at people who accept something incredible from you.
На людей, которые ожидают от тебя что-то невероятное.
And when you do it, everyone in the square just yells, yes, yes, and you get a huge adrenaline rush from this, a huge buzz.
Адреналин, огромный кайф.
Надеюсь, вам
Hope you enjoyed it. Ride with us.
с нами.
Bye everyone.
Пока.